Hello, best agents. I am Kay Thompson, a principal broker here at Best Real Estate Company, and you are watching or listening to the latest installment of the Best Real Estate Company's Friday Focus. And I wanted to take a little bit of time today to share a couple of updates with you and to show you some data that I think might be interesting for you to review as you're working with your clients. I can say that because of my desire to keep up with what's going on in the market, and for some of the work that I do outside of just selling homes, I have come to notice that we have seen an uptick in the number of properties that are going to the pre-foreclosure stage. A lot of banks, primarily Mr. Cooper and a few others, are putting out requests for BPOs. I have two phones and they're both ringing, so disregard those sounds. And so I'm saying that to say there is opportunity out there for us to garner more listings. We have had some dips this past week in mortgage interest rates, which should spur more home buyer interest in our markets. We're still seeing a slump there. And so I thought, what is it that real estate agents could be doing to kind of shore up our buyers list and help them to become more optimistic about the markets? And so we'll talk a little bit about that too. I found a really nice video that I think might help us in the way of listings. We've had several situations where I've talked to agents who have expressed difficulty when working with sellers to get them to change their list price so that they are more in line with what the properties around their properties are being listed for. And doing that helps boost the confidence in the client for the agent's abilities. It helps them understand the market better when we can communicate effectively with them why they need to adjust their pricing. And if you've done a bunch of open houses or one or two and you didn't get any traction, or you're not getting calls on your listings, it could be for a number of reasons. Sometimes it's photos, sometimes it's other things, but primarily, historically and right now, the reason that we have listings that sit on the market is still the same. The number one reason that happens is because buyers think the properties are overpriced. So I'm going to play a quick little video here for you that will allow you to get some tips on doing things to help change the client's perspective about what their price should be, their property should be listed at. Before we go into that though, I do want to play another video. This is an update. This update is basically for our Mississippi realtors. As you know, some years ago, our Mississippi real estate boards started using SUPRA keys to have keys put in for lock boxes. And I use the SUPRA key in Arkansas because they adopted that same type of box over there. So I have access to Century Lock app and SUPRA. Now, what the Mississippi realtor boards have decided collectively, I believe, is that it's much easier for agents to just give a one-day access code to the realtor instead of just meeting a realtor there to open the door for them. And I am a broker in the state of Mississippi, but I have chosen not to be a member of the board. But because I have access to the SUPRA KEY system through Arkansas, a Mississippi broker would in fact be able, or agent would in fact be able to send me 1 day instructions to open doors in the state of Mississippi. So we're going to watch a quick video about that that I'm going to share right now. So give me just a second to get that going. Let's see. We're going to share. So here's the video.
Real estate agents know it takes a whole team to make a sale. SUPRA now offers a simple way to provide controlled access to your listings for associates such as contractors, stagers, and inspectors. SUPRA's single access key provides convenient and secure access for individuals needing limited one-off or occasional entry to properties. Check out these benefits of single access. Secure and limited access for users such as contractors, stagers, inspectors, painters, photographers, and virtual tour companies. A non-transferable access credential delivered to user's smartphone. One-button SUPRA Key app to easily obtain keys from a SUPRA lockbox. Single access gives listing agents easy control with the following. Easy steps to set up limited access for users, right in the eKey app. Non-transferable access credential sent directly to requester's smartphone, no need for call before showing codes. Customized access window that can be scheduled up to 30 days in advance, no need to coordinate meeting times at a property. Easy to view and modify managed access through the eKey app, including recent invites granted, pending, and canceled. Ability to see access granted history and generate an access report based on users or lockboxes. Here's how to grant access to your listings. Download or update to the latest eKey app and accept the end-user license agreement. Tap on the eKey app's My Key Boxes icon to select a specific lockbox. Select Grant Managed Access in the app, then enter the user's cell number. Assign access hours, add special instructions, and property notes. Tap Send. The single access user will receive a text regarding their access. Schedule access up to 30 days in advance. Single access works with the latest eKey app and lockboxes. Single access also provides homeowners peace of mind with notifications of access, if enabled by listing agent. For further assistance, visit eKey resources at www.supraekey.com.
So basically what happens is the agent who has the listing should be assigning the addresses to specific lockboxes. And then, of course, you would just follow those steps that were mentioned in the video to go ahead and be able to provide that access to those agents. This is also, I'm going to share a flyer. If you need access to this flyer, please let me know, because this is what the Northwest Mississippi Association of Realtors has sent out to its agents so that they understand the steps to giving non-member agent access to the boxes. So what does this mean for us? Well, we actually have now agents who have stopped, who have decided that they do not want to be a member of a certain board. We have that set up in Mississippi as well. as Tennessee. Our Tennessee agents should already be aware of how to assign a 1-day code to an agent to access a property if they are not a member of the Realtor Board. And now we have that same access for agents. So a lot of agents will call, especially when it's time for them to pay their dues, and they wonder what they can do to stay active, but they may not necessarily be able at the time to cover the dues that are associated with being a realtor. So if that is your problem, or your situation, I should say, you don't necessarily have to retire your license. You can just move over to our Mississippi non-affiliated division or to our Tennessee non-affiliated division. And depending on the time frame that you do it, you may be able to avoid paying fees to the board. And if you do that, you actually do have still access to these lock boxes to show your clients, because now we have instructions on how to give 1-day codes to agents in Mississippi who choose not to be a member of the board. I am already a member of 2 boards, so I do not feel that I need to pay to be a member of the 3rd board. The Arkansas board, believe it or not, is much more cost effective for me than the Mississippi board is. And so that is why, one of the main reasons that I am on the NA side. So for those agents who report to me as their broker in the state of Mississippi, if you have any trouble with this in the future, please let me know, and we can work through some processes and things that you can do in order to get the other agents who may not be aware that they have this option to cooperate with you. And I wanted to make sure that everyone in our office knew that these options existed, so that instead of calling and saying, hey, I need to retire my license because I cannot afford to continue to pay the MLS fees, you can just switch over to the other division. There is a cost, I believe, of $25 to switch over, and that's in both states. I do know that Mississippi was waiving certain fees at one point. I don't think they're doing that so much now, but you can switch over to the NA division and still be able to access those lock boxes. So that's what I have to say about that. And then just remember that if you are having questions about how to get another agent to work with you on that, then let me know, and I can help you definitely to navigate that. So the next video that I wanted to show you was a little bitty video. It's not that long, and we were going to discuss how to talk with sellers about dropping their commission. This particular video came out about 3 months ago, and it's another broker, not Daryl Lewis. I know a broker, Daryl Lewis, but Daryl Davis, who has a little 7-minute video about this that I'm going to play right now. So if you will just give me a minute to share my screen.
Those ourselves so you don't have to.
Now, let's talk about price and commission, and let me tell you how I broke this up. What I'm going to teach you today is 2 separate conversations, right? One is when you're talking to a for sale by owner, okay? When you're talking to a for sale by owner, and you're discussing how to price the property. The problem with the FSBO is they think they can sell the house at the same price that an agent that you would sell it at. So therefore, they can save the commission. So with that with a FSBO, that conversation's different. They have to learn and discover that there's two prices on every house. There's the FSBO price and the realtor price, and why they're different. So I'm going to show you that. The second thing I'm going to teach you is, all right, let's say you've got some listings and your market is shifting. The prices are starting to come down, or they're not going as high as they used to be, or you took a listing a month ago and maybe you overpromised on the price, and now you would need to have that tough, honest conversation saying, I think we should lower our price. That's a different way of presenting, and so I'm going to show you that as well. So those are the two conversations I'm going to teach you. All right, with that said, let's get into the pricing conversation with a for sale by owner. The most important concept that I want you guys to get is for the seller to agree on your price and your commission. They have to understand they cannot sell as a FSBO at the price that you would put it on the market for. See, if a FSBO believes that they can sell it at the same price that you would sell it for, then your commission, even if your commission is $10, is going to seem too high to them, right? Like, why would I even pay you $10 if I can sell it at the same price that you can sell it? I need you guys to really understand this. This is important. Because if you believe that a homeowner, in just a little bit, if you believe a homeowner can sell on their own or sell at the price that you would list it for, you're not going to get that listing, because it's going to be hard for you to convince that homeowner, because you're not even convinced. So I'm going to show you how to validate and how to prove that homeowners as FSBOs will always lose money. Now, here's one of our case studies that we're going to do. And I don't know if Joyce and Bob are on the call, but they had a listing appointment. They were very confident and happy to have the deep understanding Darryl provided since November concerning the lawsuit. We demonstrated our value, articulated our fee, and explained the buyer's side. My seller decided to be fair and offered 3% to the buyer's agent. Thank you, Darryl, for all you do for us. So let me show you how to have these tough conversations. When you're about to present your price to the homeowner, what you need to do is isolate. Before you present price, you're going to say this to them. Based on everything you've seen about me and my company and how I market properties, if we should agree on the price, are you ready to hire me? Are you ready to move forward? Do you feel confident in us working together? So I don't care how you say it, but what you want to do is you want to isolate before you present. So watch this, very important. When you're talking to a for sale by owner, before you present your CMA, your pricing, you must ask this question. Based on everything that I showed you, Mr. and Ms. Hanna, do you feel like it's better in us working together than you can continue being a FSBO? If the homeowner says to you, well, it depends on the price that you tell me, that's a red flag. And let me tell you why that's a red flag or a yellow flag in this scenario, is because the homeowner is trying to pick the realtor based on the price that the realtor tells them. And that's so incredibly wrong. No homeowner should be picking an agent based on the price. They should be picking the agent based on the agent's skill and ability to market a property, because that's what a listing agent does. The listing agent is not buying the property. The listing agent isn't guaranteeing it's going to sell at a price. The listing agent is marketing the property, period. It is the buyers that determine whether the house is worth what's being asked. And in the cases where the house is priced below market, what happens? Multiple offers happen. When the price is overpriced, then you get fewer offers, and they're always less. So listing agents, and we need to say that to a homeowner, Mr. Ms. Honey, you're not hiring. It shouldn't matter what I think the house is worth, because what I think it's worth is my opinion. Now, granted, I have a professional opinion, which is different from an amateur opinion. An amateur opinion would be your friends, your relative, your mother, your father say, I remember when those houses were selling for 50 grand. Now it's probably worth $500,000. So that is the amateur CMA. But Mr. and Mrs. Hanna, I'm a professional. I'm going to give you a professional opinion because I list and sell in this market day in and day out. But make no mistakes, I'm still just giving you my opinion. What the actual price is going to be is based on the buyer. Now, what you should be focusing on, Mr. and Mrs. Hanahana, is hiring an agent based on when you're sitting across from an agent, Mr. and Mrs., you want to feel like, you know what, this agent understands marketing. This agent understands promotion. This agent understands how to get people in. Mr. and Mrs. Hanahana, that's what you should be listening for, focusing on, trying to hear, is that agent got that skill and ability and talent for marketing? That's what you look for. Now, I just spent the past hour and a half here talking about here's how I perceive what I can do for you as your marketing agent. So I'll ask the question again. Based on everything that you've seen about how I market properties, how I and my company, and the skill that I can bring to you, do you feel it's better that we work together, putting price to the side? I understand your concern about the price. I'll give you my opinion, but if we put that on the side, based on my skill and ability of marketing, do you feel it's better we work together than you doing this on your own? If they now say yes to that, what does that tell you? They just said yes to signing with me. They said, yes, I can see, Daryl, working with you will be better for us. Yeah, but I'm concerned about the price. All right, let's talk about the price. And now you have just the pricing conversation. Now you just have to explain the difference between a FSBO price and a realtor price. So is this helping any of you, gang, what I'm saying? Because I know this is maybe different than what you've heard in other training. I'm just curious. Is this helping any of you? Could throw it in the chat, please.
Okay, so we got to hear a little bit about how we can talk to a seller, specifically a FSBO, about what the difference is and how they can get a price for selling the home versus what a real estate agent can do. And I love that he talked about, Daryl, that is, talked about how to get a buy-in, get them to agree to the plan and the strategy that you have worked out based on the efforts that you have already put in to sell a property. I have just a couple of more things. If you guys have any questions or any concerns, or you want me to give a more in-depth training about that, please let me know. I'm happy to do so. I also wanted to give a few announcements. One, Edco Title and Closing Services is offering 2 free CE credits. We are on an odd year now, 2025, but lots of people have even year license renewals. I myself have 1, 2, 3 license renewals next year for 2026 that I have to take care of, so I may take advantage of these. But this is FinCEN in real estate. Whatever investor needs to know. The course topics is an overview of FinCEN's RRE rule and its purpose, which transactions require reporting, compliance steps and how to protect your business, and why investors should have owner's title insurance. And then they have a date on here. They're saying that there are going to be new real estate reporting rules. So starting December 1st, 2025, the U.S. Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, will enforce a new residential real estate rule. This rule requires certain real estate professionals to file reports for non-financed or hard money loans, residential property transfers made to entities and trusts. What is changing? Entities and trust buying or selling residential real estate will now be required to provide personal details not previously required, such as name, date of birth, residential address, citizenship, and taxpayer identification number. So for those of you who are familiar, earlier this year, a lot of us have, those of us who have business entities, LLCs, I think primarily, S corps, anything that could provide us with any anonymity, however you say it, protection, a veil that protects who we are. We had to fill out a little form for FinCEN. And there was a lot of back and forth. Some of us got to do it, some of us didn't, and then they extended it, and then they said, you don't have to do it, and then they said, yeah, you do. So this is kind of what that is about. This course, or these 2 CE credits, will be offered September 25th, 2025 from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Great Hall in Germantown. The Great Hall is just right at the edge of Germantown. It's right over off the Germantown Parkway. And I can't remember what the name of that street is, but it's right there behind where, or right there across from where the Hobby Lobby and all of that stuff is. Exeter is on one end, and then I forget the street that's on the other side. I believe it starts with an N. But you can't miss it. It's on the corner. They have a beautiful sign that says the Great Hall, and they have tennis courts right there. So this is where that's going to be. You can scan that QR code. I'm just going to put that up there to hopefully you guys will be able to do it. You can scan that QR code to register. I also have a couple of these in the office, at the Memphis office. So if you guys want to come in and pick up one to register, that will be good and fine with me. I have them. The other thing, and the last thing really that I kind of wanted to talk about, is data, and how important it is for us to be able to understand the data that comes out in terms of marketability and what's going on. And so I am a member of a couple of organizations that produce data. I like to look at all sorts of things as it relates to real estate. You guys have heard me talk before about the National Low Income Housing Coalition, and they actually put out a really good, a lot of really good reports, actually. One of the things that I wanted to show you, though, is the report they have. It's called Out of Reach. The Out of Reach, the High Cost of Housing Report. I'm going to share my screen one more time for the purposes of this. Now, there's also another a company called Zonda that I talked to yesterday that has a really good way of drilling down reports and getting data, collecting it. I'm thinking about possibly investing in that so that the office can have access to it. I just have to do a little bit more research on my own to make sure that that would be a good investment for us. But anytime you guys are looking for specific information regarding the cost of housing, you know, the shortages and things like that, if you can't find that information anywhere else, the National Low Income Housing Coalition is a great place to get that kind of information. Like I said, I support this organization financially. They do a lot of great work. And so this particular data is called Out of Reach, the High Cost of Housing, as you can see here. They have the full report that you could download, and they also have a mini report. They have media kits and graphics if you wanted to put on an event or something and talk about this. They also have their previous year's report so that you can compare the differences. And then this report basically answers this question. How much do you need to earn to afford a modest apartment in your state? So obviously we are not selling apartments. We can. But usually we're looking for people to purchase residential real estate in the form of housing, maybe a condo or something like that. So this is about the rentals. And I thought this was a good gauge for us because it shows us about the median incomes in all the states and what a person would have to be able to earn in terms of income in order to afford a 2-bedroom rental. And this is based on the average rates for those states and areas. So as you can see, they have a little graph ledger here. So if you're in a light blue state like this one, the amount that you would need to earn per hour is below $22.50. Anything from $22.50 to $30 is a little darker, right? And then anything above $30 is the dark blue. So clearly we can see where the most expensive areas are just by the color. Tennessee actually is in the middle. And as you can see, I don't necessarily have to click on the state to figure out what the numbers are. So just by hovering over Tennessee, you can see that we are 31st in the nation in terms of the highest housing wage. $27.01 is what would be required to afford a 2-bedroom rental home at the median rental price range right now for our state. And then they show you the amount of hours you would need to work at the minimum wage level in order to afford that home. And so for us, the minimum wage is $7.25 still. So if you were making $7.25, you would need to work 149 hours a week in order to be able to afford the median rental rate for the state. We only have, I think, 168 hours in a week, so you'd be working like a dog to pay that. And then obviously we can go somewhere lower. Kansas is 43rd in the highest housing wage. Their requirement is $20.87. And at their minimum wage, the number of hours to work per week would be 115 hours, which is still pretty high. And even though they are in the lower or the first bracket, they are still not that far off from us in terms of what they would need to earn per hour. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we are. They also have a really great report that I've shown you guys before. We're just going to take a look at Tennessee again, and I usually use Tennessee because that's the area where I have the most people operating. And they basically give us key facts across the top here. So renter households that are extremely low in income for our state is 221,466, or 23% of all of our state citizenry lives at an extremely low income level. The shortage of rental homes that are affordable and available for extremely low income renters, I'm sorry about that, is 127,601. So we're short that many rental homes that are available for and affordable for extremely low income renters. The average income limit for 4 persons in extremely low income households is $30,380. The annual household income needed to afford a 2-bedroom rental home at the HUD fair market rental rate is $56,172. And the percent of extremely low income renter households with a severe cost burden is 71%. So that means 7 out of 10 of our extremely low income earners are saddled with a severe cost burden as it relates to their housing. And so this kind of keeps me grounded, and it helps me to understand when I have people who may be struggling to come up with earnest money and things of that nature, where they are in terms of their need. And so just having this idea, this information, it endears me to them a little bit more, makes me want to help them a little bit more. Also, there is one other thing that I wanted to show you guys. Fannie Mae has a lot of great tools that we can use. They tell us lots of great things on their website as well. As you can see, supporting a stronger housing market, we are a foundational part of the housing finance system and are committed to ensuring market stability, which is great. So you can come up here and look at all sorts of things. One of the things that I'm actually looking for, though, is they have a tool that you can use. They have a home buyer education course. Before you encourage your agents or your clients to take that course, though, you want to make sure that that course would be applicable to the home buyer, to the down payment assistance programs that we have here. Fannie Mae does offer a home down payment assistance tool on their website. Here's where it is. All you have to do is click that you have read the policy, private policy, and the terms and conditions, which I have a million times. Then you can tell it, where are you looking to buy? We're going to say Memphis. Well, let's say something else, because I always use Tennessee. Let's just say DeSoto, Mississippi. DeSoto County, Mississippi. There it is. We're looking about one unit. We're looking to spend, I'm going to say $300,000 on a house. And then you answer these questions. Do you own a home? We're going to say no. What is your annual income? I'm going to say $95,000. Are you in the military? No. Are you a spouse of a military? No. Are you a co-borrower? No. And are you Native American? No. Do you work in any of these professions? We're going to leave that blank. And then, do you or your co-borrower or anyone in your household have a disability? Let's just check yes here to see what we get. And then it's going to ask me to view programs. And then they found 3 programs for DeSoto County, Mississippi. One of them is the SAH grant. One of them is a TRA grant. And then they don't have anything here for affordable first mortgages. But this tool will show you. You don't have to enter all that information that I did, but you could. So I'm just going to type Memphis, and we're going to go back and check no, and we're going to click view the programs. Let's see. Yeah, we can leave all that the same. I don't know what is happening, but I can't get it to move forward. But normally it's not like that. I just wanted you to see, though, that they do have this program, and it works for every almost every down payment assistance program in America. You can find the information that you need there. And so I encourage you to use this tool to be able to help your clients when they ask you about down payment assistance. It'll show you how you can um, what they can go and how you can help them to know what to go and ask their lender about in terms of that. And so that is really all the information that I wanted to share today. I didn't want it to be too heavy. I hope that I was able to help some of you. I'm thinking about doing our next podcast on maybe lead generation. You guys let me know if you want me to do that. I want to thank everybody who watches and who listens to this podcast. It means the world to me. And getting your comments and things about the information that I'm providing also helps me as well to stay encouraged to continue. I am going to be in October hosting an online home buyer education course. That course I will start marketing it on next week. I will be doing it's going to be a series, so people will have to come for 8 Saturdays if they want to obtain the home buyer education certificate. Now, this certificate is not going to help you to forego the class for down payment assistance programs that may be available in the area, because I'm teaching the Freddie Mac Credit Smart course, and I am going to begin that on October 18th. It's going to start at noon, so I'll put a link out to that for that, so people can register. If you have some clients that need help saving, or if the plan that their lender has them on, they're not really sure about why they're doing certain things, this is a great way for them to figure that out. I will be having a couple of guest speakers throughout the course that they can speak to. I am working with some lenders to be able to pull that off. And just know that if you tell me about your client and that they are going to attend the program, I am going to give them the information that they need, and then I'm going to send them back to you, because those of you who know me, you know that I really don't want a buyer if I can help it, unless you are looking to buy or sell a business. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that, being able to teach that. And I cannot make the classes public because the information that we get, the learning materials from Fannie Mae, not Fannie Mae, but Freddie Mac they are proprietary. So I can only give the information out to the people who come to the classes. But once they register, they will get materials that they can keep and use with them. And I'll also show them how they can go online and take those courses again at their leisure. So with that being said, I want to thank you so much for listening again and for watching. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next podcast episode. Until then, take care of yourselves and sell something.